Salut tout le monde, c'est Fallout Survivor. On se retrouve aujourd'hui pour une vidéo un peu plus calme, une vidéo un peu détente sur un jeu assez sympa qui stresse pas. C'est Stanley the Parable, ce Parable. Je parle très bien anglais, que je pourrais traduire par Stanley la parabole, je pense. Hein. J'en sais rien en fait, c'est pas très grave. C'est un jeu sympa avec plusieurs fins disponibles, plein d'événements un petit peu aléatoires. C'est un jeu narratif en fait. Donc je me suis à ça un petit peu. Et on va bien voir ce que ça donne pendant ce magnifique temps de chargement. Ouais. Je vous laisse
This is the
profiter de la
story of a
cinématique.
man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alors voilà, bon, vous l'aurez compris, c'est un simulateur de fonctionnaire. Ah là, c'est parti. Hop.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
C'est marrant, j'ai l'impression d'être dans mon agence Pôle emploi. Bon, voilà. Y a personne. Bon, on va continuer. Puis voilà, on va passer un petit moment ensemble au calme sur ce petit jeu qui est plutôt sympa. Comme je l'ai déjà dit. Je vais m'amuser à éteindre tous les ordis. Si ça se trouve, ça fait un truc. Parce que selon vos actions, vous allez avoir une fin différente ou pas. On va voir ce qui se passe si j'essaie d'éteindre tous les ordis. Hop là. Hop, continuons un petit peu. Faut avancer un petit peu pour qu'il y ait déjà des choix un peu plus différents.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Non. Ouais, allez, si. Je suis sympa avec lui. Est-ce que je peux ouvrir la porte? Non. Celle-là. On va pas s'acharner sur les portes.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ah, c'est dommage, j'ai oublié le numéro de mon bureau. Ah, c'est... Oh, c'est pas grave. Allez, hop. Voilà, on est un peu perdu comme ça dans une grande entreprise où il se passe pas grand chose. Il y a personne, on va essayer de deviner pourquoi il y a personne. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Où sommes-nous? Dans ce monde étrange. Je peux pas interagir avec ça. Est-ce que je peux aller au... Ah, bah oui, je peux rentrer.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Peut-être quelque chose à faire.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
J'aime bien ça, quand on peut énerver un peu le narrateur et tout. C'est sympa.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Je suis fonctionnaire, hein, c'est normal que je foute rien.
Are you
Lol.
really still in the broom closet?
Oui.
Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me
T'as
some
déjà vu
explanation
sous Spark?
here, I'm
C'est
genuinely
pareil, je veux pas
confused.
sortir du placard. Non, je reste dans mon placard.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
C'est trop con.
Stanley was fat and ugly.
N'hésitez pas à mettre ça en commentaire si la fin dans le placard c'est votre préféré.
Because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Oh,
That
ça
always
parle
bothers
mal.
me. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
Tu dois être...
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you
Oui,
collapsed
oui,
on
c'est
the
ça.
keyboard. Well, in a
Totalement.
situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Non mais laisse-moi me décomposer sur mon clavier.
Anyone who happens to be nearby, the person at this computer is dead.
Ah, c'est
He
con,
or
j'ai un
she
casque
has
en plus,
fallen
on va pas
prey to any
t'entendre.
number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Ça fait quoi si je reste encore un petit peu? Allez. Je suis bien dans mon placard, il y a du scotch, des clés, des petites boîtes, un balai, un seau. Non? Il n'y a plus rien? Oh. Bon allez, on va sortir du placard.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Faire foutre.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ah non, non, tu m'as trop mal parlé, je me casse moi. Ça suffit hein. Ça va pas de parler aux gens comme ça et tout. C'était très bien ce placard à balai. Non, je peux pas interagir avec ça. Parce que là il y a un truc. Où c'est là. Non, en fait ça fait pas peur. Hey, une
But
voiture.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
Je peux
why had
rentrer
he
dans la
taken
voiture?
that risk? All because he
Oh
believed
non.
everyone had
Peut-être ouvrir le
vanished.
coffre.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Je peux pas passer.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that
Mon Dieu, mes
matter,
pieds!
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar, Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Non, j'ai pas fait ça.
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so
N'oubliez pas de consommer un max de drogue pendant cette vidéo.
Question of them all entered
Je
Stanley's
vole
head.
plus dans l'espace.
One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not seem float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way
Stanley,
it should be.
youtubeur.
My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Ah non.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Ça vient de défoncer les oreilles.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to
Je suis
go
mort
call
dans
for
ma
ambulance,
chiasse sur le
for
trottoir.
just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
C'est tout. Ah bon. Ouais, c'est pas mal sympa. Moi, franchement, j'aime beaucoup le concept du jeu. Jeu. Attendez. Mhm. Donc, apparemment, on recommence, mais ailleurs. Ça, c'est...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
Bon, on
he
va
had simply
continuer.
missed a memo.
Mon clavier qui gogolise. Non, c'est bon,
Stanley
c'est
went
revenu.
around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
Oui, bah.
Nor did it advance the story in any way.
Welcome to the whiteboard and... Console. Bark. Est-ce que je peux revenir dans mon bureau s'il vous plaît? Non. On va essayer de se souvenir de ça, de console Bark. Bon, je suis prêt à vous parier que dans 2 minutes j'aurais oublié. Si.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Oui,
he
bah
entered
non.
the door on his left. This
Non,
was
je
not
ne
the
veux
correct
pas.
way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Oui.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oui, on va dire que je vais faire ça. En
Yes,
fait, non, je m'en
truly
fous.
a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Allez, si on va écouter un
And
petit
so
peu.
he detoured through the maintenance section,
Allez,
walked straight
on est
ahead to
gentil
the
avec lui, on
opposite
l'écoute
door,
là.
and got back on track.
On va l'écouter.
Yet there was not a single
Là,
person
il
here
y a toujours
either.
personne. C'est
Feeling a
dommage.
wave of disbelief,
Je
Stanley
suis
decided to
incrédule
go
maintenant.
up to his boss's office,
On retourne pas dans le
hoping he
placard à
might
balai.
find an answer there. Coming to a staircase,
On va prendre en
Stanley
haut.
walked upstairs to his
Hop
boss's
là.
office.
Est-ce que je peux ouvrir là? Non. T. Ah ouais. Là, je crois que mon patron il a fait son bureau avec l'éditeur des Sims. Je peux aller là? Non. Non.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Ah, ça fermait
He
les
stepped
trucs.
into the newly opened passageway.
Bah oui, on va rentrer dans le nouveau passage. Ah. Temps de chargement. Je suis curieux de voir ce qui se passe. J'ai fini une fois il y a très longtemps. Donc je sais plus trop ce qui se passe à la fin, il me
Stanley
semble.
realized he felt a bit
Quelle
peculiar.
vague
It was a
souvenir.
stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for
Je trouve
himself.
ça plutôt sympa
to
de refaire
question
ça
the
avec vous
nature
comme ça.
of his job. Why did he feel this now?
Si ça vous
when
a
for
plu dans les
years
commentaires,
it had
n'hésitez pas à
never
dire si vous
occurred
voulez
to
qu'on
him.
se refasse une petite
This
partie dessus
question
pour
would
essayer
not
d'avoir une
go
autre fin,
unanswered for long.
ou tout ça, ou si vous connaissez peut-être des easter eggs, ou quelque chose comme ça. N'hésitez pas, hein.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Pareil, la voix off elle le dit pas, mais faudra mettre un pouce bleu. Mais parce que là on n'a pas pris la bonne fin, donc elle va pas le dire, mais
Although this passageway had the word escape
vous
written
pouvez
on it,
mettre un pouce
the
bleu, la
truth
voix off
was
est
that at the
d'accord
end
avec
of
ça.
this hall, Stanley would meet his violent
C'est pas
death.
du tout une arnaque, hein. Elle est vraiment d'accord la voix. Elle est vraiment très grand ce couloir.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on
Non.
track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Non, ça droit vers maintenant. Ben non. Regarde. Tu vois, je suis pas mort. Je suis dans un temps de chargement, ça a rien à voir avec la mort, hein. Quoique. Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow
Qu'est-ce qui se
vision
passe?
of what this world is.
J'ai dû m'absenter 2 secondes parce que j'avais enfermé ma chérie dehors.
By plucking the eyeballs
Ah
from
là, il y a un
the
truc.
blind
Eh, je peux m'enfuir.
man. So he
En fait, je vais
resigned
peut-être
and
mourir. En
willingly
fait, il avait peut-être
accepted
raison,
this
le mec.
violent
Là, là,
end
là, là,
to
saute,
his
saute. Il y a un
brief
truc.
and shallow
Ah,
life.
tu peux me baisser?
Farewell, Stanley.
Non.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single
What the-
visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body,
Ah ouais.
killing him instantly.
Ça m'enjaille pas plus que ça. Ah non, en fait, je suis, je suis vivant.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
Ah bon?
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
C'est un peu bien blanc quand même, hein. Ça fait vachement
When
penser au
every
paradis.
path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he
L'envers
hit
du
start?
décor. La matrice. Ou un délire comme ça. Tiens, toi tu joues pas au solitaire. Toi tu vas pas sur Skype. Ça non plus, j'ai pas envie. Ouais, dis donc. Ça me dit rien du tout, ça c'est la première fois que je le fais. Oh, mon ordi. Qui n'a pas de bouton lui. Il y a rien d'ailleurs, vous avez ça, c'est l'ordi de compétition, il a pas de lecteur CD, il a pas de bouton. C'est l'ordi du fonctionnaire, il a pas besoin de CD, il a pas besoin d'être un ordi. Oh, je retire pas ce que j'ai dit, hein. Ça ressemble vachement à mon pôle emploi, hein. Niveau activité humaine, tout ça. Non. C'est le parquet qui crie ça. De toute façon, elle a pas vu ça. On l'a pas vu. Ça c'est sympa. J'aime beaucoup. Ça, je m'en fous par contre. Bah, je fais quoi du coup maintenant? Bon bah on va se perdre tous ensemble hein. Ah, là-bas il y a des trucs. C'est... Ah d'accord. Ah dommage. Trailer. Bon bah ceux qui se parlent anglais, hein, profitez. Parce que moi, je comprends que dalle. Ah, exit. On fait quoi? Bah, je vous demande, mais vous pouvez pas me répondre, donc je vais prendre la décision pour nous tous. Bon bah, on va aller à la sortie, voir ce que ça nous dit. Ah là là là. Ce jeu. Mais
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
c'est des boutons, hein, c'est on-off. Hein, je suis pas sûr qu'ils aient la volonté d'être libres ou pas.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Aïe. Je voulais pas y croire. L'eau? Quelqu'un? Eh oh! Bon, on va faire échappe, voir si ça fait un... quoi que ce soit. C'est la pause. Bon bah voilà, on est mort, écrasé. C'est triste. Bon bah, j'espère que ça vous a plu. Je vous dis à très bientôt et pour de nouvelles vidéos et de nouvelles aventures. Allez, à plus, bye.